I hate the fact that an exclamation mark looks like a lowercase letter L. It should be like a zigzag or have a little smiley face under it. My exclamation mark would look like this. That's my big wish. What's yours? Hi everybody, and welcome to a very special full English lesson. Well, of course, every lesson is a special one, and today's is no exception. My name is Mr. Duncan, and I'm ever so delighted to be here with you again. Can you see what I have in my hand? It is a type of musical instrument. It's a noisy one too. This is a tambourine. It is a type of percussion instrument. The word percussion means to hit or to strike. The word derives from the Latin word percussio, which means to hit with force. You can play the tambourine in two ways, by tapping it and by shaking it. It looks easy to play, but in fact it takes a lot of practice to master this instrument. You need a good sense of timing and rhythm, which I don't seem to have. So instead of listening to my terrible playing, let's get on with today's full English lesson right now. Cows in a field, all being good. Cows in a field, chewing the cud. To chew the cud as an idiom means to talk about general things in a friendly way, or to consider something carefully. You are chewing the cud. Just like this cow. These cows seem very friendly, don't you think? Can you see what I have on my back? It is a very useful thing for carrying stuff around on walks in. It is a backpack. A backpack helps to keep your hands free while carrying things. You put stuff in your backpack so you don't have to carry anything in your hands. A backpack can be small and lightweight, or it can be very large and hold many things. Hikers often use backpacks so as to allow them to carry many items at once. Safety equipment, waterproof clothing, survival gear, or even a fold-away tent can be carried on your back using a backpack. The most common type of backpack looks like this. Something not too large and not too small. Very convenient for when you have lots of things to carry. You can carry a small backpack over both shoulders or just over one. Some backpacks even have wheels on them, so they can be pulled around like a trolley. A backpack can also be called a rucksack. You are not going to believe what I'm about to say, but say it, I will. Most native speakers of English make mistakes while using the language. That is to say, in their day-to-day use of English. There are many reasons for this. First, there is the consideration of the accent being used. Some English accents clip or alter the way in which English is used. This applies to both British and American English speakers. The speed at which some people speak English changes the sounds of certain words. If you add accent and speed together, then you will get a very different sounding version of English. From a grammatical point of view, mistakes are often made by native speakers. Double negatives such as "I didn't do nothing" are common in everyday speech. The use of certain words can also lead to mistakes being made. Confusion between words such as historic and historical, effect and effect, allude and elude, assume and presume. These are just some examples of common mistakes made by native English speakers. Then there is the spelling of certain words. Native English speakers will often spell certain words incorrectly. Good examples of this include amount, fascinate, necessary, definitely, achieve, acknowledge, success, imitate, familiar, scissors, and vacuum. There are, of course, many others. My point here is that even though a person speaks and uses English as their first language, they will still be prone to making the occasional mistake. It would be fair to say that on a daily basis, very few native English speakers get it right all the time. And that includes me. Time is a very important thing. We don't like to waste time. We make plans as a way of organising how our time will be used. Time is something we either have or don't have. The phrase, "no time like the present," means that if you are going to do something, why not do it straight away? Don't hesitate. Do it now. "Time waits for no one" is another phrase that expresses the fact that time never stands still. It is always moving. We can ask someone for the time. Do you have the time? Do you have the correct time? Do you have the time on you? Could you give me the correct time? What time have you got there? Do you know what time it is? Sometimes we waste time. To be lazy and idle is the very definition of wasting time. But we can also define a fruitless task that was done for no useful reason as a waste of time. "A stitch in time saves nine" is a proverb that means take action when you first notice a problem, so as to prevent it from getting worse. It is possible to have time on your hands. To have time on your hands means that you have plenty of spare time. You are doing nothing at the moment. You have lots of time on your hands. We can ask a person, "Do you have time to see me? Could you spare some time for me next week? When are you free?" To be free is to have spare time. The word spare can also be a verb. To spare some time is to make sure you will be free. You offer your time to someone. At a certain time, you will be free and available. Time ticks by. It never stops. Time marches on. The time and the place is when and where. To run out of time is when all things come to an end. You are out of time. It's time to take a look at another buzzword. A buzzword is a popular word or phrase used during a certain period. Today we will look at two buzzwords. They are migrant and refugee. The word migrant is a noun that means a person who travels from one place to another so as to find a better standard of living. A person doing this is called a migrant. A migrant migrates. They move from one place to another in the hope of finding a better life for themselves. The word refugee is a noun that means a person who travels from one place to another so as to escape persecution and victimization caused by conflict and war. A refugee is a person who has been forced to flee from their native country in search of a safe haven. Refugees often travel in groups using unsafe methods of transportation. A person who seeks refuge is a refugee. Despite the trend to use both of these words together, a migrant and a refugee are not the same. A migrant moves by choice, while a refugee moves as a last resort for their very survival. Can you see what I have here in my pocket? This is a very basic type of bag and one that is seen very often in shopping areas and supermarkets. This is a carrier bag. It is very lightweight and is made of very thin plastic. When not in use, a plastic carrier bag can be folded up small and put into a convenient place, like a pocket or another bag. It would be fair to say that a plastic carrier bag is the most convenient thing for carrying heavy objects around in, which makes them very popular with shoppers. Of course, there is a downside to this convenience. Plastic carrier bags tear and break easily, and they are often thrown away in places where they can do harm and create nuisance. People tend to collect them in their homes without reusing them. So as a way of discouraging this, many shops now charge their customers for each plastic carrier bag they need. This is done as a way of getting people to reuse their old carrier bags. That is why I always have a carrier bag with me when I go shopping, just in case I need one. You might sometimes hear the phrases tune in and tune out used in English conversation. First of all, to tune in can mean to find a certain radio station so as to listen to it. You tune in to a particular station. To watch a certain TV show can be referred to as tuning in. You tune in to watch or listen. We can use tune in to express concentrating on one particular thing. To listen or eavesdrop on someone's conversation can be described as tuning in. This can occur in the same room or from another room or place. If you don't want to listen to what someone is saying, then we can say that you have tuned out. You stop listening to them because you find the subject they are talking about boring. You tune out. You stop listening to them and think about something else. It is worth noting that the word tune can be both a noun and a verb. As a noun, a tune is something musical. A song can be called a tune. To tune something means to alter the pitch or scale of a musical instrument until it sounds correct. You can tune a piano or a guitar. To sing or play in tune means that the correct musical notes are being used. If a song is being sung or played badly, we can say that the singer or musician is out of tune. An out of tune song is one that sounds terrible. Words can be very confusing. Some words look the same, but are pronounced differently. For example, you read a book. You have read a book. You put lead on your roof. You lead your dog through the park. Words that are spelt the same, but sound different, are called homographs. Some words have different spellings, but are pronounced the same, such as two and two, or pray and pray. These are called homophones. Then there are homonyms, which are words that look alike and sound the same, but have different meanings. For example, pole and pole, mate and mate, peel and peel. So, to recap, words that look and sound the same but have different definitions are homonyms. Words that look the same but are pronounced differently are homographs. Words that have different spellings but are pronounced the same are called homophones. That is almost it from me for today. But before I go, I think it's only fair that I show you what's inside my rucksack. Would you like to have a look? Okay. What is inside Mr. Duncan's rucksack? Let's have a little look. Oh, it's my tambourine. I fancy a little shake of my tambourine right now. So, I'm going to go around my garden and practice. That is definitely all from me for today. I will see you very soon for Full English number 15. Yes, it's true. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of the English language. That is, of course, England. Saying to you, thanks a lot for watching me, teaching you, and of course, until next time, ta-ta for now. Words can be very confusing, and helicopters going over your house can also be very annoying. Thank you. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Cheers. Thank you. That's lovely. I love it when the helicopters fly low over my house. It really makes my day.